So next is the use case diagram of the proposed system. Okay. So here, as you can see, we now have 7 use cases. First is the create account, and then reserve equipment, borrow equipment, return equipment, maintain equipment inventory, generate reports, and settle penalties. So as you can see here, we only added one, and that is create account. So why do we need to create account? So the new system will be made online, and then to access it, you must have an account. And to have an account, you must be a student or faculty in DLSCSP. So still, of course, it will allow you to the borrower to reserve equipment. This to reserve equipment, you will you have to log in to the system and then choose the equipment. So this is online, okay? You can access it in your mobile phone or any gadget that can access the internet. So and then to borrow the equipment, when reserving, you will be given a code, and then you must present that code to the AVC staff, and he will lend you the equipment you reserved for. So of course, after that, you have to return the equipment. Still the same, and then still the AVC can maintain equipment inventory, generate reports, and accounting can settle penalties committed by the borrowers. So that's it. Now let's move on and discuss each use case scenario. Here we go. So for the first use case, it is create account. So the main actor here is the borrower, and then the other actor is the AVC. So precondition, you must be a student or faculty or staff in the LCSB, and you must have internet. So what is the trigger? When the borrower visited the website. Okay. So borrower goes into the website, he types his ID number and password. The password, at first we'll type change name to have a new password, and then you can now log in, edit the profile, then fill up the form including your name, address, any other description about you, and then save, and that's it. So what are the problems you might encounter here? Website informs the borrower whenever the ID number is not valid. The website will inform you. It'll ask you to consult the ITD, and then you can now return to step number 2. Next use case is the reserve equipment. So primary actor still the borrower, other actor the AVC. Precondition with AVC account and internet. Trigger when the borrower logs in. So borrower logs into the website, borrower clicks reserve equipment, then he'll choose the equipment he needs, and then fill up the form including the time he needs it, the class, and then click reserve, and that's it. The AVC will provide a code for you. So whenever the code is not provided, the website will say you can't make reservation, and then it will ask you to make another reservation, and then you can now return to step 6. Excuse me. Next, borrow equipment. So the borrower is the primary actor, still AVC the other actor. Precondition with the provided code, and then trigger when the borrower goes to the AVC borrowing returning area. So the borrower will go to the AVC borrowing returning area. He will present the code, and then AVC staff will check the code, and the reservation is the ready equipment. So that's the good thing about it. The equipment are all ready, and then the borrower will receive the equipment. So if the code is not valid, AV staff, of course, the borrower will be informed, and then he will ask to you check the borrower's reservation code, and then you can return to step 3. Next is the return equipment. Okay, borrower ABC is the same. So precondition, of course, you must have the equipment in hand, and then trigger when the borrower goes to the ABC borrowing returning area again. Borrower goes to the ABC borrowing returning area. The borrower hands on the equipment to ABC staff. ABC staff checks the equipment and then approves and says the borrower can go. Borrower can go. But if ever the ABC staff will not allow you to go, it's because there's a penalty committed, and then he might issue you a penalty, and then you may now return to step 5. Okay. The fifth is the maintain equipment inventory. Now, the primary actor is the ABC staff. Then there are no other actor. Condition, equipment are working, ABC system account, of course. Trigger once the equipment are returned. Here, so ABC staff logs into the ABC system. He will click equipment form, and then staff fills up the form, and then staff clicks add. Okay. If the record wasn't saved, of course you won't see any new transaction. And then if you stop to record again, and then return to step 4. So the sixth use case is the generate report. Of course, ABC staff is still the primary actor here, and there are no other actor for this process. Precondition, ABC system account, you must have it, and then updated equipment inventory trigger when a report is requested. So ABC staff logs into the ABC system, so he will look for the transaction to be printed. ABC staff chooses which report will be produced. It's either inventory report, it can be the borrowed equipment report, the returned equipment report, the served equipment report, or the penalty report. So, and then he will click print, of course, to produce that report. So there are no entries present. So you have to go to the form, the transaction you want this. Of course, you have to log in the transaction, and then can now return to step 3. So last but not the least, settle penalties. The primary actor here is the accounting staff, and the other actor is the borrower. So how does this happen? Precondition, of course, there must be a penalty issue, ABC system account, and when a penalty report was received from the borrower and the ABC, basic flow, accounting staff receives the penalty report, accounting staff checks the penalty, borrower pays the penalty, of course he must. Accounting staff gives the receipt, and the accounting staff logs into the ABC system. Accounting staff goes to the issue penalty form. You will update the borrower status into settled. It means that the penalty is already done and is good. So if the payment is not complete, or if the money is fake, staff informs the borrower, asks for an additional or replacement payment. And then you can now return to the step 2. So now I'll present to you the PVT diagrams. As you can see, this is for the creating account, this is for reserving an equipment, this is for borrowing an equipment, this is for returning an equipment, this is for maintaining equipment inventory, this is for generating reports, and last is this for setting penalties. So now let's move to the next, which is benchmarking. Here we go.
Now we can present our benchmark for CSBs and our example competitor, St. Scholastica's College, Manila, and their AVC system. you can see that their AVC system, or their audiovisual center, has more functions compared to our system, yet we have the CSB's AVC has more borrowers compared to theirs, because of the main fact that there are 3 different buildings and campuses for the school. As for St. Scholastica, though they may only have the elementary, the high school, and the college levels there are still less users of the equipment that the AVC has in their AVC and in their hands. You can also see that transactions has a few in St. Scholastica and more in CSB. Though the number of materials also outnumber the CSB system, their system, on the other hand, finds more for what CSB has. For the services rendered, again, we are outnumbered by the number of services that they render. And the branches, well, equal number of branches because of just one school. Next up will be
Streamlining.